My god. How is this not even a Blue Eyes card? Welcome! This video will be me reviewing my favorite archetypes Overframe cards. So be ready for brutally honest, heavily biased, and highly personal, opinionated reviews. First up, the retrained OG Blue Eyes White Dragon, the White Phantom Beast. Not only does it have targeted effect protection, it also integrates Burst Stream of Destruction. It effectively turns any card that can search for this card into a Regeki, and it combo well with Mulch Armies. Imagine hand trap combo this card after nibbing the field. Just for that, its card effect design deserves an A. I will play in at least one of this card in my Blue Eyes deck. Card art design-wise, B tier. I may rate it higher if it had glowing eyes. Next, Deep Eyes White Dragon, the Blue Abyss. This is a must-have 3 of in any Blue Eyes deck. It boosts consistency and is almost always an extra body on the field. As a level 10, I love how it let me access level 11 synchros like Psychic and Punisher and Cursed Thunder God for the Blue Eyes. With Primate, the combo potential gets crazy. Easy S tier card effects for the Blue Eyes. Art design, A tier. I'm a huge fan of Blue Eyes movie version aesthetics. Now, this card, at first glance, I got super excited. I thought Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon was finally getting an Overframe version, but yeah, that excitement quickly turns into disappointment. Turns out, it's basically a retrained flute card, and this isn't even really a Blue Eyes card. It needs a spellcaster as an anchor, so it functions more like an extender. An extender that isn't easily searchable is no good. Going first without access to any spellcaster starter means this card is a brick on bricks. When it comes to decks with both spellcasters and dragons, Dracatail or Branded comes to mind, but I get a different feeling from Konami's other Overframe cards like Dragoon and Magayat. Feels like they're subtly pushing spellcaster-centric decks. So, Black Magician players, this card might actually be for you, or maybe against you, because from another perspective, this card becomes much more viable in a spellcaster-heavy meta. For its card effects rating, B tier, mainly because it can cheat out a floodgate, otherwise, S shit tier. There are way too many other cards better than this fruity card. Art-wise, I felt a bit cheated. It shows 3 dragons, but the card can only summon a maximum of 2. That said, the artwork does capture a memorable manga moment, so I can't bring myself to rate it too harshly. I'd give it a B. Overall, I felt Konami missed an opportunity to standardize the Blue Eyes card art design. Personally, I got into Blue Eyes after watching the movie because I really liked that particular aesthetic. And Blue Eyes got me into its spiritual successor, Cyber Dragon. Oh boy, the card art for the retrained OG Cyber Dragon looks absolutely awesome. It really nails that spiritual successor vibe. The pose and the charged breath in its mouth clearly mirror that Blue Eyes White Dragon White Phantom Beast aura. Whoever illustrated this card seriously deserves a raise. Effect-wise, Konami really surprised me. Despite having evolution in its name, the card doesn't incorporate the classic evolution burst effect to destroy an opponent's card. Instead, it gets something closer to a slower, spell speed 1 version of infinite impermanence, which makes it feel more like a taser breath now. Wouldn't it be a better identity for this going second archetype if its special summon effect were a quick effect? So it can be dropped during our opponent's turn to negate a monster, just like infinite impermanence. As for the fusion effect, we already have a spellcaster and a dragon that can do the same as quick effect, both of which can be summoned into any board state. Then, we have this card. I can't help but to wonder what the design team was thinking when they decided that this iconic machine doesn't deserve a quick effect. Now for the biggest issue I had for this card. It is not a Cyber Dragon anywhere. Initially, I was still thinking if it is due to the consideration of Chimeratek Mega Fleet Dragon. After further observations, it seems like Konami's design team is reluctant to let Overframe retrains keep their original names. Cyber Dragon really should have been an exception. It feels like whoever handled this didn't fully grasp how the archetype works. As such, this card's effect design is C tier, and that's only out of courtesy and respect for the archetype. With the speed 1 effects almost doing something useful once per turn, this Cyber Dragon retrain feels like a software update that fixes nothing. Anyway, art-wise, It's an easy S tier. Absolutely a collector's treasure. This beautiful card just failed to capture the explosive turn to superiority identity that Cyber Dragons are known for. Good thing that retrained Cyber End Dragon sort of addressed that identity issue, with its name likely from Tactical Tri-Deck. Decisive Strike, Cyber Dragon. The Decisive Strike Dragon is the embodiment of one-turn kill mantra. Granted, the alternate artwork limiter removal is totally made for this card. So, Konami, when are you going to print the Overframe alternate art limiter removal? Sadly, Konami did not integrate its trademark Super Strident Blaze effects, and thus, this card has 0 protective effects. One thing I noticed. For some reason, some Konami management seems intended to cook Cyber Dragon the wrong way. Given Decisive Strike Dragon's Glass Ganon design, the 4,000 life point cost is extremely risky for what is essentially a win-more effect, with Power Bond being a thing for Cyber Dragon. If the opponent manages to stop that Decisive Strike, it's basically a decisive end for us. Because the Decisive Strike can be highly indecisive, this card effect design is at best B tier. However, the most interesting aspect of Decisive Strike Dragon is that it does not require Cyber Dragon as material, which makes it highly splashable in virtually any machine-based deck. One particularly fun interaction this enables is using super polymerization with cards like Kaiju, Clockwork Knight, and DNA Surgery. Super Poly had a new target for machines. Artwork is an easy A. It captures that summoning aura from the anime that still gives me goosebumps to this day. Next up, Future Nova Fusion. This is an easy must-have for any Cyber Dragon deck, or really any deck that can run it. This card opens up so many combo lines thanks to its ability to send cards from the deck to the graveyard, setting up extensions effortlessly. Going first, Cyber Eternity Dragon is easily the best target, dumping any 2 machines to the graveyard to kickstart our plays. There are the Synchron and Crystron for Synchro, Drytron for Ritual, Springans for XZ, and Arcust for Link. It can also enable Gimmick Puppet FTK lines and facilitate Union Alphabet Contact fusions. This is essentially Brilliance Fusion for machine decks. Even in a pure Cyber Dragon build, there are plenty of cards that open up creative and flexible setups. Need to take out an active back row floodgate? We have Magical Hound. Want to skip your opponent's next battle phase? Electromagnetic Turtle. Need more attack power? Vic Viper. How about floodgate monsters, if one's strategy permits? Since limiter removal stacks, Cyber Eternity Dragon can still be a valid target going second. So if opponent's trap cards are concerning, we can special summon Jinzo before we attack. And there are many more tactical options available. For Decisive Strike Dragon, there are other options as well. Without a doubt, this card effect is easily S tier. Same goes for its incredible artwork. It is as it was meant to be designed for Overframe. Overall, I'm blown away by the Cyber Dragon Overframe artwork. Putting the 3 cards side by side creates this amazing sense of flow. It's such an insane design. A pity that for some of the Cyber Dragon cards effect design, Konami dismissed power creep and responded with only border creep. Anyway, moving on to the collector's serialized aspect of the Overframe cards. One biggest difference I saw to these Overframe cards collection between heroes and rivals is the need for multiple copies of serialized cards for a complete collection for the rivals, especially for the hardcore serialized cards collector. For hero cards, a collector typically only needs 1 copy of the serialized monster card. However, for rival, using Cyber Dragon as an example, a meaningful collection would require 3 copies of the retrained Overframe Cyber Dragon. From a serialized collector's standpoint, serial numbers 001, 002, and 003 will likely hold the highest value as they represent the most desirable prints. When it comes to Blue Eyes, the collection may be even more challenging. There are 4 Blue Eyes White Dragon cards in Yugi's universe, with the 4th famously destroyed. Drawing inspiration from this detail, a serialized 004 retrained Blue Eyes could symbolically represent that lost card, especially given that the number 4 is associated with death in Japanese culture. To be honest, I really wonder what the market price for a perfect set of these special serialized cards would be like. Thank you for tuning in to hear my 2 cents. If you'd like to hear many more of my other cents or support this channel, do like and subscribe.